a massive explosion, a global explosion of the sport of Gaelic football. Unfortunately, there is no Gaelic football for people to watch when they go hunting for this now afterwards. So I guess they're going to find stuff on YouTube. But I'm talking about Normal People, which on Hulu has exploded in the States. Washington Post have given it a very favourable review. There's been lots of very positive talk about it in England as well, because it's being shown on BBC. And what they're discovering is that Gaelic football is an important part of the narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. This is... not inadvertently, this is actually going to turn out to be one of the best things for Irish tourism this year, because I don't think we quite appreciate just what a genius Lenny Abrahamson is and how good this television show is. Like, it's very easy for us in sport to appreciate the world-class people who have come out of Ireland, in terms of the Roy Keanes, for example, when we talk about it in our Mount Rushmores. But I don't think I think in a way, Lenny Abrahamson is actually underrated, and all you got to do is listen to anybody from outside of Ireland talk about this television show and how much they want quarantine to end so that they can actually come to this country. And a step further than that is that it will be a lot of people's first introduction to Gaelic football. And it's pretty good. Like, it's fairly clear that Mescal, the main actor, has played a bit of GEA, and it's pretty clear as well that the choreographing of the GEA scene in episode 1 is fairly off to a T, from the wardrobe to the I would say that the hand passing skills, the kick passing skills, to the classy finish at the end of the scene. It's all wrapped up beautifully. And like, I haven't seen too many international breakdowns of GEA, but I'm sure it's piqued the attention of some people.
So, I mean, you say he's good at football, like Kildare under 21. What are you talking about? This guy's a sensational footballer. The block was the thing that inspired a conversation yesterday. Somebody had asked us to rate this, and I was like, well, it doesn't really matter what we think of it, because Marianne, who's in the crowd, who's watching Connell play football, is pretty excited. It emerges later on. She is pretty excited by what she sees, as she tells him when they're getting into it for the very first time. And so how we view it, not really that important. But actually, it was as good as you've ever seen in terms of Gaelic football being done. One, the block was good. There was a pattern of play that didn't look like a bunch of players in one jerseys running one direction and a bunch of players running in the other direction. So there was like a cinema verite element to this. Looked like a match that they were legitimately playing. The quality of the hand pass looked like, oh, okay, that guy actually, it was like not just a training drill. It was like over somebody's head. It went straight to the chest. It was like, this guy can play a bit of ball. And he drops his shoulder and off he goes. Bang, back of the net.
Well, yeah, I think that there's a bit more to it as well. I think that people around the world need to realise that what they're actually watching is a reincarnation of Declan O'Sullivan on the small screen. So he's a wing forward. He's wearing his chain under the Intersport jersey, very secondary school, trying to impress everybody in the stands, but he can do it. He's got the talent to be able to do it. As you say, the give and go technique, absolutely textbook half forward, and they're 2 points down at this point. It is 113 to 111, the scoreline. Gives and goes, gets it back. The wing back chasing him. He manages to keep pace, sure, but he just can't get a hand in. I'm not sure, is he afraid of the greatness of Connell here, or is just in awe of what he is doing, perhaps in awe of the fact that he's actually wearing a chain while playing Gaelic football. Just can't catch him. He races away from the defence, back at the net with the right foot. The goalkeeper, statuesque, kind of takes a step back as it goes past the umpire, who looks like Larry David, cuts to the scoreboard, 211 to 113. They've won the game. And then there's a nice ad for O'Brien Sports, the one-stop sports shop as well, on the scoreboard. It's got it all. It's perfect. It's a great win for St Kilda's, beating their arch rivals Naomh Mahu.
It's sensational. And so after we were asked to review this, I was like, oh, definitely the best thing that we've ever seen. Malky Clerkin chimed in with, yeah, it was. The block was absolutely sensational. And then went on to say, but hang on a second, the goalkeeper actually not that good. Really, that's the one part of this and he made the point on Twitter that it looked like it had the bang of a goalkeeper who had saved the shot the first time round and been told, here, listen, this has to go in. This is the winning score. Don't do it again. And Lenny Abrahamson, the joy of Twitter is he's like, actually, that's exactly what happened. He made a stunning save, down low to his right. Couldn't believe he saved it. And so the second take is obviously the one that we see where he's not allowed to save it. And he's huffing a little bit, going, well, come on. I mean, I would have saved it. Which is stunning.
it's a good story for Paul Mescal to be able to tell in years to come, because he's definitely going to become the most worldwide famous Kildare under 21. No offense to any other Kildare under 21s. Like, this guy's going to become an A-lister around the world. His career is skyrocketing as we speak. He is exploding, and that goalkeeper could have been the one to stop it all for Paul Mescal, but Lenny obviously stopped in and was like, no. We've got a global superstar here. He has to score the goal.
There's a lot of thirst out there for Paul Mescal on all the social media feeds.
I was listening to a Ringer podcast yesterday, and one of the pundits said this guy is on a Brad Pitt trajectory. There is a lot of hype, not just in Ireland, for this kid.
Okay. Which Ringer podcast was it?
It's called it's called TV Concierge. It's just like a quick 10-minute podcast. Okay. They just do a quick recommendation.
I was wondering if it was like Steve Kerr and
no, it wasn't Steve Kerr or Pete Carroll. No, but I'm sure that's the next step.
Yeah. Okay. So like, not to bring this all back to OTB AM, but how great does his career have to be before, in 5 years' time we're going, look, I understand that Ruby Walsh had a great career and it's very difficult to take him off Mount Rushmore, but like, seriously, Paul Mescal, this is, look at what he's done for the county of Kildare.
Well, it's for the county of Sligo, really. Unfortunately, this television show is going to be great for Dublin, as it is going to be great for Sligo. And that chipper that they go into in episode 2 will be flocked with people once lockdown ends. They're bypassing Kildare. Paul Mescal hasn't even done a good thing for Kildare. You're probably going to be the only person who remembered he played for Kildare years down the line. Sligo and Dublin will be laughing in your and of course other Kildare people. But
Exhibit A, Larry Tompkins, Kildare's Larry Tompkins, and Exhibit B, Shay Fahy, that we still bang on about 30 years later. That just wouldn't have won those if it wasn't for us at all. Right. Porrick Dillon wants to know, hi lads, just wondering what show, movie you're talking about. Sounds very interesting.
Well done for establishing that at the top of the show, Ger. We're talking about Normal People. It's on RTÉ Player. That's the legal way to get it.